Hello, I'd like to make a sheet that I made for my One Sheet Wonder since I've had so many requests for it. I uploaded it on Tuesday, and then I made a Mom's Day card and posted that today, and I've had requests for how I made my sheet. So let's get started on that. I used a 12 by 12 piece of Whisper White. Then I used, for the back of the sunflower, I used Blushing Bride. For the front of it, I used Sweet Sugar Plum. For the center of the flower, I used Crumb Cake. And for the little dots on the flower, I used Soft Suede. In the Mom's Day card, I used Chocolate Chip, but I like the Soft Suede better. Right, on the leaves, I used Pear Pizzazz, and I stamped off one time before I stamped on my paper. So I used Painted Harvest stamp set, and it's a beautiful watercolor type stamp set. And I just love it in all colors. You can experiment with a gazillion colors, and they all look pretty to me. So let's get started, and we'll see how long it takes me to stamp a 12 by 12 sheet. I'm going to move it over. I hope you can still see because I have to put that there. I have all my stamps on blocks, and this is the first stamp. So we just stamp it up, move them up, and stamp on our page. It doesn't look like you can see it, but it's very faint. And I just stamped it all over. Blushing Bride is not a very dark color. Stick down here. Let's turn around. There. Turn around again. Stamp one here. I just stamped all over. Do it there. And here. Turn again. Sorry about the shadow. I can see my shadow really bad. And off on the edge. I do a little bit on the edge over here. And one over here. And a little bit in the corner there. How about that? Right. So that should do for our Blushing Bride. Wash my stamp off. And then we will use the inside or the top of the flower. And we're going to use Sweet Sugar Plum. So this was Blushing Bride. Sweet Sugar Plum. It's rather wet. I just re-inked my pad. Might not be a good idea. Let me get a piece of scrap. Yeah, it's very dark. Yeah, I am going to stamp off one time because I've just re-inked my pad and it's dark. There we go. There we go. You just... No. You just stamp over your first image. There we go. Shouldn't have re-inked my pad. Okay. And I think I got 3 more here. There. Right. That's the sweet sugar plum. Now we'll take the crumb cake. Okay, put that aside right now. Let me wash off my stamp. There we go. Now we take the center stamp. So you had the outside, the top of the flower, the center, and then the little dots, and then the leaf. Okay, so we'll do the center, and we are using crumb cake. And you just put it in the center of your flower. And it's a very light color. Okay. Did that one. There we go. That's the crumb cake. Wash it off. Now we'll take the little dots for the center. And I'm using soft suede. It just makes the flower, doesn't it? It just like makes it pop. So cute. I'll put a little bit on that one. And let's turn it around. Try to stay in the camera. Hope I'm in the camera. And that. Right, so now we'll wash that off. Alright, so now what we do is what I call masking. I'm going to need this one again, so we'll leave that there. We're going to use the Pear Pizzazz. You can get a piece of scrap. Let me explain this masking in case you don't know what it is. What I've done is I've stamped the flower and I've cut it all out. I have a bunch of them here. And if you want to stamp the leaf so it looks like it's going behind your flower, you line it up so that you can stamp, not stamp the stem on your flower. So let me hope that's in the camera. There. You cover up your flower, stamp off, and then I'll put a leaf right here. So it doesn't look like it's on, it doesn't stamp on your flower. And I will do another one. Maybe right here. There we go. And Just turn it till it covers your, like that. Don't forget to stamp off. I do that a lot. There we go. Put that one there. Oh, almost landed on me. Off. And here. Okay. And just keep going until you put as many leaves on as you want. Like that. On. Okay. Let's do this one here. Now. I just kind of put maybe 2 leaves per sunflower if they fit. If not, I do 1. Now, let's do this one. Put one right here. Okay. Do that one now. Okay. Forgot to stamp that one in the corner. Oh well. Right. Now. There. Right there. I'll stamp over to the left. There we go. And let's do this one here. Right there. There we go. See how it looks like it's behind the flower? Right. That's right there. Okay. Now do right there. There. Stamp one here. And stamp one here. A little bit there. Maybe do one up here. Yeah. Right. Now, I will go and fix that one later. Now we take our little dots again, and all I did with that, actually, why don't I just fix that while I have it up here. Stamp off and fix this one. There we go. That. Now the taupe. Okay, that'll do. And I'll do the center of that little one that we missed. Right down. And then wash off my stamp with the brown, because we are now going to stick. So remember, to mask, you just cut out one of your flowers. You stamp a flower on a piece of paper or a sticky note, and then you cut it out, you know, just zigzag around and line it up to your flower and stamp your leaves. So now we are going to just stamp some little dots, and I'll leave them dark. See, I've already started with the dark down. And you just fill in where you think you might. Looks like a blank spot. And then what I did was I cut this up to use for a one sheet wonder. And for the backing, I used Blushing Bride. And then I used Rich Razzleberry, which was a lot darker. But you could use Pear Pizzazz, you could use Crumb Cake. You could use any of the colors in here for your backing on your card. And it will look pretty. It will all match. That's what I love about Stampin' Up! Colors. You can get everything to match. And then, you know, you can decorate with Sweet Sugar Plum ribbon or Pear Pizzazz ribbon. And I just love their accessories and everything. The shades all match. But there is the one sheet wonder, the way I did it. And then I cut it all up. What I did was 2.5 inches all the way along, and I got 12, 2.5 by 4. So you got, split this in 3 and that in 4, and it leaves you 2 inches on the end. And then I just took the 2 inches and cut them in half and left this piece on the bottom. 5.5, 5.5, so I left 1 inch on the bottom. And I used them for a different type of card. I will show you real quick some of the cards. This was one I did with a sponge brayer, and I did a ombre effect up. I just cut out one of the sunflowers, put backings on it, and stamped it. This one I ran through the embossing folder. It's got a little sunflower there, and I cut out the sentiments. again, this was one of the long ones. I cut out an oval and put some ribbon on it. I mean, silver baker's twine. There's another one I cut out, and instead of a square, I just put it on as a triangle and put punched a hole and put baker's twine between those. This one is actually a gatefold card. It opens up in the center, so only half of this is stuck down. Here's another one with a circle cut out. Another one. See, I just cut all my papers up. And there's another long one. So there's two long ones, and the rest are smaller, like these, or even smaller. This one, I cut out a frame out of the backing instead. I put a square die cut, and then I moved it on the Big Shot. I moved it down, washi taped it in place once I matched up the things to make the rectangle. Every one of them has an embossing folder design in the background, and I cut out the punch, the classic label punch, and I put the sentiment behind it. I decorated envelopes. There's another one, and there's the two mom cards I made out of the same paper. So I hope you learned how to do a one-sheet wonder. You could use any stamp set you have and make your own designer paper and use it any way you like. I thank you for watching. I won't do a blog post on this, but I will post the colors that I used below. Thank you. You have a great evening. Good night.